Hello and welcome to your Vedic Lunar Scope for today, the 25th of July, 2015. The moon today is making its way through the middle portion of the sign of Scorpio, as it will be transiting the nakshatra of Vishakha. And today you may feel uncertain about which course of action you should now take. Inside, you feel that you absolutely, positively have to do something because you feel that to do nothing, well, that's just doing nothing. But the problem is that you're likely going to try anything out of a desire to simply do something or to find the right approach. Perhaps you may even try several different paths just to see which one is going to lead in the right direction. You figure that fear is your worst enemy, so rather than, acknowledge perhaps some things that fear might be trying to bring to your awareness, you've instead decided to put it aside and simply get on with things, right? Now, part of that is good. It's good to not give in to fear. It's good to not cave into fear. But sometimes a little warning sign pops up simply because, well, we're not supposed to go in a certain direction. And if we don't listen to those little warning signs, well, then we end up going, well, down a wrong direction, don't we? So please practice caution today as to how much energy you apply to one particular solution before you decide that it is the wrong path. Otherwise, you'll discover that not only have you wasted energy by applying energy to that specific direction, you've also wasted very precious time that you can't really afford to waste right now. Although it's likely that you'll attain a small level of success simply because you're determined to do so, you may find yourself too deeply entrenched in one particular approach to feel comfortable about giving up that approach and shifting to something else. What to do? Well, trust that with awareness today and a willingness to learn, that you will be guided appropriately. It's better to do nothing, oddly enough, than it is to do the wrong thing. And even though you may feel uncertain, and it may actually be somewhat wise to try a few different things, you need to pay attention rather than thinking that just because you're getting some success, that's the right path. Well, it actually might be, but what you need to check and see is if it's your determination that's creating a result in that path, and are you, for lack of a better way to put it, mining a mine that's going to bring some results but will eventually deplete itself, right? What you want is something that's going to bring lasting results. So for that, you want to make absolutely positively sure you're taking the right approach. Might as well cover a little bit of ground. I'm not going to deny that, right? But by the same token, pay attention. If something feels wrong along the way, pay attention to it and be willing to change paths should need be. Vishakha is a Dharma-related nakshatra, so it wants to find the right thing to do. And it's symbolized by a potter's wheel. And I always really like that analogy with it, because if we think of the center of the potter's wheel, we have to put the clay right on the very center. And at the center of that wheel, it spins very little. That's the stillest part of the wheel. So there's stillness that's there, right? And as the movement begins, there's a willingness to allow the clay to be molded. We're molding the clay with fingers. So if we think of the individual is being molded by the will of the universe, by the will of God, whatever it is you choose to call it. It's being aware of an impulse that can guide you in the appropriate direction if you pay attention. But first, you have to be in that place of stillness for the momentum to gather and to be guided in the right direction. The lunar tithi today is Shukla Navami. And because of today's lunar tithi, you're likely going to get too wrapped up in a particular approach. You're going to apply too much energy into a particular direction because you're frustrated and you're wanting to get results. But luckily, we've got the solar lunar yoga of today as Shukla, which says that if you pay attention, you'll be able to see. You'll be able to know which direction to go to. Shukla means bright, so you'll be guided. You'll see the light. You'll know which way you should move in. but you have to pay attention. Rather than thinking that it's your own strength of will that's creating the results, recognize that, well, that strength of will may create some results, but nothing is going to happen unless it's something you were meant to do, even if you're only meant to try it for a little while in order to find out that it was the wrong way to go, right? Ultimately, it just boils down to the concept of paying attention, being willing to learn, being willing to be molded, rather than thinking that you've got it all right, okay? If you need a little bit of further guidance as to which direction you should now go, I do offer a vast range of astrological services that are available through my website. And there's a link to my astrological services page in the bottom left-hand corner of this video. If you've closed that down already, there is also a link further down the page in the description area of the page. Just to remind you, I am starting my foundation level Vedic astrology course on Sunday, 2nd of August. It will, the first semester will go for 5 consecutive Sundays from 8 to 10 p.m. London time. If you're on the East Coast of the States, that's 3 p.m. your time, 2 p.m. Central. On the West Coast, that's at noon. And you can find your time zone online and adjust accordingly. This is being offered on a pay-what-you-can-afford basis. So if you're interested in registering for the course, please visit the course page, which I'm going to show you below. And there's a contact information on that page. There's a link that'll take you to the contact page. And you can send me an email, and I can let you know how to register for the course appropriately. That's going to do it for your Vedic Lunar Scope for today, the 25th of July, 2015. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.